Looks a nice day out there. But we can't go anywhere, can we? Because we're all on lockdown. Because of Covid-19. Yeah. Who'd have thought this ickle virus would bring the whole world to a standstill? Well, this obviously ain't the virus. This is Denise's physio ball for a plantar fasciitis. Yes, I'm finished with it now, love. You can have it back. Hey up, Rayvers. Hope this video finds you safe and well. Because coronavirus is affecting everybody, isn't it? Touch wood, I've been dead lucky. Everybody's alright here. And nobody I know has succumbed to it yet. So fingers crossed. But obviously there's loads of folk who ain't been as lucky. And it's affected the whole world to varying degrees, hasn't it? Yeah, it's crap. And some folk have likened it to the Black Death in the Middle Ages, or the Great Plague of the 1600s. Yes, the bubonic plague that was so horrible it claimed the lives of millions of folk around the globe, and it were treated by these plague doctors who would wear this primitive and old-fashioned PPE consisting of this sinister-looking beak-like mask. Hold up. That looks a little bit like a wombo, doesn't it? Yeah, the wombos. We're good, the wombos. Kids used to enjoy the wombos. Them furry fellas going round picking up shit and that. They didn't have any PPE, did they? Look at them. Picking it up with their bare hands. Maybe they built up herd immunity to any germs and whatnot that were on the rubbish. Unless, of course, what we thought was the face ain't the face. Maybe it's a plague doctor mask. And they've actually got gloves on after all. Anyway, where was I? Oh, bloody hell, yeah. Coronavirus. It has felt a little bit like you're living inside a disaster movie. Except I ain't worked out yet whether I'm one of the heroic main characters who survives through to the end, or if I'm the comic relief bit part character who gets bumped off 20 minutes in.
Oh, crap.
The normally busy streets are now deserted, mirroring the scenes from a zombie apocalypse.
Hello!
Well, that's sort of the case, unless you're going to Tesco. Yeah, social distancing went out window, didn't it? In favour of panic buying, prompting several amusing comparisons with the zombies from Dawn of the Dead. Yeah, some of the similarities in the imagery were uncanny, but the panic buying were ludicrous. You couldn't get a sodding thing. It's going to take some folk years of arse wiping to get through all that bog roll that they bought. Indeed, the comparisons with Dawn of the Dead seemed quite apt, didn't they? With Dawn of the Dead being famous for its satire on consumerism. And there definitely seemed to be a case of life imitating art. What with all these shoppers displaying zombie-like tendencies. Oh, bloody hell, that bloke, he didn't get the memo about zombie makeup, did he? He's just put on his wife's makeup. Now, another thing we get from disaster movies is that invariably the leader of the free world has an authority and a gravitas that commands respect, while simultaneously displaying humility and the strength of character to acknowledge their mistakes.
We were wrong. I was wrong.
And you believe in them, don't you? They're just the sort of leaders that you need in a time of crisis, ain't they?
Right, and then I see the disinfectant where it knocks it out in a minute, 1 minute. And is there a way we can do something like that by injection inside or almost a cleaning?
Now, our esteemed leader, Bozza, we ain't seen loads on him, have we? Because first up, he got infected with coronavirus and Ron Destor, and then his missus has popped a sprog out, and now, why is he not around now? Who knows? Because it's not like him to avoid scrutiny, is it? Now, regardless of whether you're a critic of the government's response to this crisis or not, you can tell that they weren't prepared. Look at the inconsistencies in the branding. Yeah, it took them weeks to get the branding sorted. They were all over the place, weren't they? Until they finally settled on this snazzy red and yellow graphic with black lettering. They've obviously had some graphic designers working on that. Probably run it past some focus groups, ain't they? Yes, it needs to look like a hazardous warning, but it can't be too horrific. It mustn't suggest to the public, even subconsciously, that we're all going to die. Because it's very important to have consistent branding. It helps to effectively convey your message. Any road. Next question from Ray in Nottingham. Ray. Cheers, Ray. Yeah, the big question we've got is that whilst you're getting loads of advice on social distancing your sends and washing your hands for 20 seconds, I've heard on radio that the virus can stay alive on surfaces for up to 72 hours. So what should we be doing to decontaminate all the provisions that we're buying? Because we have a very rigorous decontamination system at our house. Denise insists that any post and parcels are quarantined for 72 hours. And any provisions and products that we need, we have to decontaminate them with alcoholic wipes before we can use them. And God forbid someone manages to sneak through the quarantine system. What do you mean the orange juice ain't been decontaminated yet? Now, even though the country is in a challenging period at the moment, there's still loads of good news stories of folk doing their bit to lift the nation's spirits. Floppy-haired fitness fanatic Joe Wicks has been doing daily PE lessons for the nippers, ain't he? And even though he's hurt his hand, he ain't stopped. He's got his missus in to help him out. And he's even dressed up in fancy dress to do it sometimes. God, he must have been sweating like a gibbon in that. Captain Tom Moore raised over 30 million quid for the NHS, doing laps of his garden before his 100th birthday. Great achievement, but he could have livened it up a bit. He could have dressed up as Spider-Man and all, couldn't he? On the music front, and my favourites, the Ukulele Orchestra, have been busy and all. They've done a few lockdown ditches together. You got to check this lot out on YouTube. They're absolutely brilliant. And G Basil has been doing a daily crooner session, singing ditties with different guests every day. And he's also got some of his fans on to do it and all. These girls were brilliant. They sounded like the Andrews sisters. Fantastic.
The whole world smiles with you, it smiles with you.
But then, of course, to top all that, they had the One World Together at Home concert the other week, didn't they? Where celebrities who were struggling with the lockdown ascent sang us some of the greatest hits from their multi-million-dollar mansions. And it weren't just celebrities. Somebody let this homeless bloke have a go, which was nice. And it had plenty of talking points. Oh, Charlie Watts were miming his drumming in the Stones performance, wasn't he? Macca weren't very tech-savvy, was he? Look at that, filming in portrait instead of landscape. Schoolboy mistake. What a pillock. And the lockdown's obviously getting too much for Elton.
What the never could have hoped to win. You're stopping down the road and leaving me again.
He was just making weird noises.
You know, I'm still dead and better than I ever did.
And look at these arseholes. They ain't adhering to social distancing guidelines, are they? That's well within 2 metres, that. But the thing I were a bit disappointed with is that there didn't seem to be much ingenuity on show. You know, these folks are locked down at home, and most of them were just singing along to either a backing track or a guitar. And I thought they could have been a bit more imaginative by making some music with our-sewed items. Show a bit of creativity, do you know what I mean? Love, love, oh to ease my mind. What do you mean the crunchy nut cornflakes ain't been decontaminated yet? Bloody hell. Right then, Rayvers, hope you're all managing to stay safe and healthy throughout this challenging time. And make sure that you're adhering to the social distancing guidelines and washing your hands for 20 seconds and decontaminating your provisions and all that sort of stuff. Because we need to flatten the curve, don't we? We've got to flatten the curve, take the pressure off the NHS and all that malarkey. So keep yourself safe and healthy. And if you got any requests, get some requests in, because I've got nothing else to do at the moment. And make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff and all. And I'll see you next time. Okeydoo. Right, let's get another set of clothes. Oh, that's pretty good, that, actually. Oh, that's quite relaxing.